It's alright.
Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Moxsy here in a Borderlands 3 video, and today we are talking about the multi-tap pistol. Now, the multi-tap pistol is a new legendary Atlas non-elemental pistol that was introduced with Mayhem 2.0. If you would like to get one of these pistols for yourself, you need to be playing on Mayhem 6 or higher, and it is a dedicated drop from Katagawal Ball in the Skywell. Now, it took me quite a while to get me one of these, and might take you guys a while to get one for yourself. So I wanted to give my overall thoughts because I was hearing that this weapon was terrible. I was hearing that it was underrated and actually really good. So I wanted to give it a try myself. Now, before we talk about the performance of this weapon, we need to talk about its special effect. This weapon has a special effect that when you tag an area with a tracker grenade, its secondary projectile, your projectiles will home in on 5 tagged enemies for 15 seconds. Reloading will fire a cryo rocket at tagged enemies. Now, I tried this weapon on a few different characters, and the character it worked the best with is Amara. And this weapon works, honestly, pretty well with a Ties That Bind build. Now, when you tag extra enemies, or when you tag enemies with your tracker grenade, you're going to hit multiple enemies per one bullet. You'll spawn multiple projectiles that will hit multiple enemies per trigger pull. So while this thing doesn't have great damage, when you're using it with Ties That Bind and you're using the tracker grenades, you clear areas very, very quickly. But Amara kind of already really clears areas really quickly with Ties That Bind alone. But this weapon does perform solidly well for mobbing. Now, it has almost 0 bossing DPS, and I would not take this into a boss fight almost ever, unless you're trying to clear out trash mobs. But the multi-tap with ricochets and Ties That Bind is a pretty strong mobbing weapon. Now, it's not stronger than an OPQ, it's not stronger than a KOs, and just because those weapons are going to output more damage, and more damage with Ties That Bind is going to clear out enemies sooner. But there isn't really any good Atlas pistols in this game, and I'd have to crown this one the king of the Atlas pistols. It works well, it's strong, it's not that great at bossing, but it is worth using, and if you don't have this weapon and you want to give it a try, I recommend doing so. It's not going to be replacing any of my weapons. It's not going to be using it that much in any builds, but it is a fun weapon to give a go. Now, let's talk about these cryo rockets. So when you reload, you will fire cryo rockets at tagged enemies that can hit multiple enemies with one rocket. These rockets don't do a lot of damage, but you can infuse these rockets with infusion to do different elements besides cryo, because cryo isn't the best element against most enemies in the game. Radiation is usually typically stronger, so I was using radiation, fire, and shock on these rockets, and they were doing solid damage. Now, there isn't an interaction with the longer you fire, the more damage the rockets will do. You can spam these rockets out. If you'd like to emote cancel, you can actually emote cancel your reload animation and spam out multiples of these things. But I found from using this that the best way to do it was fire the projectiles with the grenade tracking, and then every once in a while launch the rockets. The rockets aren't anything too great, but the multiple projectiles coming out of this thing when you have enemies tagged does work pretty well. It has to be the best Atlas pistol that I've used, and it's a fun new toy, but realistically, it's not better than a lot of the new weapons, such as the KOs and No Pew Pew Monarch. You get the point. If you guys learned anything from this video, if you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. We are so close to hitting 85K. That's absolutely crazy, guys. I hope you're enjoying the new content. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!